What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another video. It's Monday, and for the rest of the season, that means it is time for Mock Draft Monday. I have not fully finished the schedule yet, but I know Mock Draft Monday is back every Monday, and every Thursday is going to be the player comparison breakdowns. I want to say this week is going to be Ayuk, Lamb, Higgins, although, like I've kind of said in recent videos, that was a lot closer before Chase. Now Higgins is going to be last. But if there's a different one you guys want before that, let me know, comment section, what comparison you want. Can be any position. We're going to stick mainly to running backs, wide receivers, mainly the first 7 rounds. But if you've got a different one, you got to let me know. I want to do the ones you guys want to see. So for our first Mock Draft Monday, we're actually going to finish the last position. So this is our 12th mock draft for, I believe, 12-team league. So we did like a 14-teamer or an 8-team, something like that. But 7 position is the last one that we have not done yet. So after we do this one, we're going to start right back over and do every single one of these again, but we're going to do a full PPR draft from the 7 spot. We've been doing 2 flex spots recently, so we're going to switch back to 1 flex spot, and then just your standard setup. 1 quarterback, 2 receiver, 2 running back, tight end, defense, no kicker, 6 bench, all that. And let's begin this. This is our first mock draft since the draft has happened. Of course, we're not going to see ADPs fully reflected. We're definitely not able to do your ESPN mocks, all those different sites. You definitely can't do those right now. They're going to be completely ridiculous. But this site is still gonna need to update a little bit more, but it's the best out there. We will do some underdog drafts. Those are good as well, but I don't want to only do those because that is still different. Right, that is still best ball, where you're going to have multiple quarterbacks drafted. You're going to have players more with more upside, I guess, that are going to go a little bit higher, whereas you wouldn't draft them as high in regular leagues. You're going to have a bunch of wide receivers taken, multiple tight ends, so it's a little bit different. So we want to stick to these still more often than underdog. We're absolutely going to do underdog, and that's going to be an opportunity for you guys to draft with me. So when we do those drafts, you guys can join in. So make sure you sign up for an underdog account. Use promo code FFA if you want to sign up there. And they're doing a really big contest, like $1,001 to first place. So definitely check that out. But yeah, so we're going to do Fantasy Pros for this one. We're going to see first 6 picks off the board here. McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Saquon, Derrick Henry, and Devonta Adams. I had someone ask me, actually, so they said they won their lottery, and so how they do it is exactly how my league does it. You have a lottery, and whoever pulls the 1 gets to pick which spot they want to have first. They don't get the 101. They say, okay, well, I actually really like the 12 pick. I would like that, and then 2 goes, 3 goes. I think that's the best way to do it. But they asked me, what position would you take? I told them as of right now, it's looking like the first pick might be the best. We've got, obviously, McCaffrey is probably the undisputed best pick, and you're still going to have really nice options at the turn here, the 2nd and the 3rd round. But then, honestly, if you don't do that, still a top 5 option is really nice because you're locking in one of these running backs. And then I'd say late first round because you're getting 2 studs. I would honestly say the middle is probably the worst. And 7 could possibly be the single worst pick because you miss out on Adams, the best receiver. Although, who knows with Rodgers right now, if Rodgers leaves, Adams might not be the best receiver. But assuming Rodgers were to stay, Adams best receiver. And then you miss out on these stud running backs. But hey, we're still going to do the mock draft there. Okay, so if this were my league, we're going to draft this one. I don't think we're going to test things out. We're going to say, well, let's see how my team would actually turn out if this were my money league or something. I wouldn't go Kelsey this early. It's too early to take him, even though we love him. I wouldn't go the quarterback. It's too early for that. So we're basically looking at these running backs and these receivers. I have Tyreek Hill at 2, then Diggs at 3. That's the order that they have him here. So we would look at Tyreek Hill. He'd be our next option. Or we go with running back, our top options. Zeke, Jonathan Taylor. Eckler. I think Eckler would probably be next. I can pull up exactly what I have over here. And it is Jonathan Taylor, then Zeke, then Austin Eckler, then Nick Chubb, although Chubb is higher in half. It's just because this is a full PPR league, so he goes down. So I have Jonathan Taylor next. What do I have? I'm actually curious on that. Tyreek Hill versus Jonathan Taylor. And I do have Jonathan Taylor ahead of Tyreek Hill. I think that is correct. I'm very positive we're going to get a really nice receiver in the next round if we want one. I have no problem if someone wants to take Zeke at that pick because it seems like he's going to be healthy. It is probably going to be, I would say, a top 3 offense, no doubt, in the league. And then their entire draft was defense. I'm not going to say they're going to be a great defense, but they should be improved on defense. And maybe they have more games where they don't need to just chuck the ball around late, which you think, oh, that's really good for fantasy. Well, but it's still preferred for running backs. Like if they scored 30 points, but were ahead in the whole fourth quarter, and they're running the ball a ton, So it's still better for Zeke there. And obviously Zeke greatly improves when Dak was a quarterback, not like Dalton and all the other guys they had. So good outlook on Zeke this season, but Jonathan Taylor, man, he is just an absolute monster. They are building that offense around him like stud, absolute stud. So, wow, after our pick, we see Chubb go, then Stephon Diggs, then Zeke, then Aaron Jones and Cam Akers rounds out the first round. Second round, we see a run at wide receiver. Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Ridley, Michael Thomas, and DeAndre Hopkins. So would have been nice to grab one of them because does that end that tier? No Metcalf. So that's interesting. Of course, remember this is full PPR. Metcalf is better. Best in standard, and then he kind of goes down from there. But we have a huge decision to make here. So with this pick, there are only 3 options. We grab this, honestly, incredible value with Austin Eckler. We have him ranked 10th overall, and we're at the 18th overall pick. So incredible value in Eckler. Remember, we already have a running back. Insane value on DK Metcalf as well. I'm 15th, but this is still, starting your draft with him at receiver is phenomenal. There's definitely a drop-off after him. Or we get Kelsey. And Kelsey I have right after Eckler at 11. So this is a decision that I think a lot of people are going to have to make in the second round this season, and especially running back. So we already took a running back. So there's technically just slightly reduced value in going with your second running back, right? Because you already have one. You don't need to start, or you can't start more than 3 of them. So if we take a running back here, it hurts us in the next round a little bit because let's say we get to this next pick. I'll pull up the board here. Let's say we get to our next pick and we see this huge run at wide receiver is just gone. Like maybe we're gone through this whole range and we're looking here and we're like, okay, not in love with what's happened here. And then running back, maybe nothing really happens. Maybe there is still Gibson, Sanders, Dobbins, Montgomery, and we're like, oh, well, we would prefer to take one of them over one of these receivers. But if we've already started off with 2 running backs, taking our 3rd running back, foregoing wide receiver again, that's going to hurt us. Now, it hurts us less if we take Kelsey because we're basically just saying we're going to be weaker at receiver, but it's made up for with this incredible edge at tight end. Like it's okay if we're losing to people at wide receiver each week because we have Kelsey going up against Robert Tonyan, and we just have such an edge, we can give up the points there. But we don't gain as much of that edge necessarily at the running back spot. And because, I've been talking about this, I think we're going to get potentially in this next round a running back that we like. I think you have to go with wide receiver or tight end here, even if in the rankings, I technically have Austin Eckler next. So that's kind of something you need to be thinking about. And it's a question I get a ton is like, what positions do you want to start the draft in? It's not necessarily what positions you have to start in. It's just make sure you're not putting yourself in a box. We take a second running back here, and it kind of looks like there's going to be a running back in the next round that we might be leaning towards because there's not going to be Kelsey, there's not going to be Kittle, there might not be Waller. We're kind of stuck having to take that running back maybe. Then it's just like you can't take one at the next pick. You have to be taking these other positions. Maybe there's not a value at those positions. So it's best to just remain as flexible as possible. And so we're going to do that. We're going to take Kelsey. It was fantastic value, but it looks like on the screen there's going to be so many running backs we could still take. And that doesn't mean we have to do that. We can still go with one of these receivers. but we want to build a little bit evenly if it's at all possible. And I was only moving one spot. Like if this was, Eckler's at 10 and our next guy was at 20, well, no. I mean, take the guy that's there. But, Kelsey was still a target, first tight end, one spot back, still a value where we're at. I think it's smart to remain flexible there. So after our pick, we do see Kittle, we do see Waller go. We don't care because our tight end's locked up. We're not taking another one. We see Eckler go one pick after us. Great pick by them. That's a good start, Adams and Eckler. And then for running backs, we see Mixon, Dobbins, Gibson, and Swift all go. Would have been really nice to grab Gibson, but that's okay. For wide receiver, we see Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen, Robbie Anderson go, and then we do see Patrick Mahomes go in the second round. So, to close out the second round. We can go with quarterback. Third round, a little bit early for me. I think we'd start kind of looking at them in the fourth round. So we'll be looking at Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, even looking at, Dak, Aaron Rodgers. Again, a little risky with Rodgers because we don't know where he's playing, but honestly, the teams he's set are totally fine. If he stays on the Packers, great. If he goes to Denver, fantastic. He goes to the Raiders, probably third in that option, but still be fine, right? They still have some weapons they'd be able to utilize there. We would definitely like him less, though, if he went to the Raiders. But if he went to Denver, that could be a good offense. But even if he stays, still good. So we have options. We definitely don't need to be reaching there. Our options at running back: Miles Sanders, Clyde, David Montgomery, Nadja Harris. I don't remember. I moved Nadja Harris up a lot. I don't 100% remember. I did. Okay. So I have it Harris, then Miles Sanders, then Clyde, and I believe no one else on this list. Yeah, David Montgomery's behind them. Carson is behind them. Gaskin is behind them. Hunt, yeah. So next up for us is Nadja Harris. So I think that's going to be a really good pick. I think he's going to be featured. They're very excited about Nadja Harris there. They're talking about how he's better than Le'Veon Bell. We might be getting a little bit too excited saying he's better than Bell. And then even Bell in his rookie season, it wasn't necessarily just dominant. Even if he was Le'Veon Bell had his better seasons a little bit later, not late in his career, but a little bit later on. But Najee Harris would be our pick here. Or we go with receiver. How many picks? It's a lot, right? Yeah, it's 10. So our pick, then 10 more are going to go by. So we can risk it with Najee Harris. Unlikely he would still be there. We grab one of these receivers. What receiver do we think will be available on our next pick? So we think 1, 2, 3. I think 4 of those 10 picks, 4 to 5 will be running backs. So let's take 5 receivers off the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking maybe Evans, Cooper Kupp, Deontay Johnson. Although if we took Najee Harris here, maybe we wouldn't go with Deontay Johnson. That's a lot of Steelers exposure in our first 4 rounds. DJ Moore, CeeDee Lamb, Adam Thielen. Okay. I think we'd still be fine. We would definitely prefer one of McLaurin, Julio. I don't know where he's going to play. It's possible he's not in Atlanta, but he's still Julio Jones. He's still a stud. So we'd still like him. But McLaurin, Julio, Amari Cooper, Godwin, Woods, Evans, Kupp. I think we'll still get one of them. So I think first decision point. All right, what do you guys do at this spot? Because in our thinking, if we take the running back, we're saying, okay, we lose a little bit of our flexibility, but we're pretty sure we're going to get one of these receivers, so it'll be fine. But also, how nice would it be to have Jonathan Taylor locked in, Travis Kelce locked in, and then to not be weak at wide receiver, to say, okay, give me Terry McLaurin and potentially another one of these receivers. Now I feel very comfortable with my receivers. I have the best tight end. I have an incredible running back. I feel really good about my draft. The problem is what would happen to running back at that spot. If we took 2 of these receivers, we're probably left in this range for our second running back, and I do not like that one bit. So that basically just clinched it for me. We take Najee Harris here. We hope that one of these wide receivers is available. It doesn't look like one of the really good ones will be available, which is unfortunate. But it'll be okay. Yeah, we see another run at receiver. So receiver, obviously it's full PPR league. They're going to go. But again, just to close thoughts on Nadja Harris, extremely likely to be a 3-down back, right? Extremely likely to get the vast majority of the early down, of the receiving down, of the goal line. Like it's almost impossible to fail with the amount of volume he's going to get. And so it's a very safe pick. It's a very high upside pick. It's just a good pick in this range. So, and we've got youth. Jonathan Taylor, Nadja Harris. We're not drafting like 30-year-old running backs that are going to tail off. These guys are young. These guys are going to produce. Okay, so only running backs we see go off the board. Miles Sanders and Clyde. And then we see Josh Allen go. We see Julio, Terry McLaurin, Lamb, Amari Cooper, Godwin, Robert Woods, and Galladay. So we wanted one of them at receiver, but we did say we'd be okay with Mike Evans and Cooper Kupp. We have kind of gotten to the range, though, where it's like we want a receiver, right? Like we are. I'll pull up our team here, right here. We need to be filling in this receiver spot because while there are a ton of receivers, they're gonna start to go, right? So we kind of need to be taking one of them. So Jamar Chase still ranked lower than he should be. I'll pull up exactly where. I do think the system will take him earlier than this 40 spot. But I have Cooper Kupp up next, then Mike Evans. And I don't see Jamar Chase, so I have to do one more through here. Yeah, he's too low. So I have to move Jamar Chase up in full PPR. He's higher in half PPR. I had to move him up in full PPR. He's not this low, but he's too low in the rankings. But basically, I still wouldn't be taking Chase at this spot. It would be between Evans and Cooper Kupp and Deontay Johnson in the full PPR league. But since we took Nadja Harris, I'm not going to go with 2 Pittsburgh Steelers. You could go with Adam Thielen if you wanted to, but I really think that that Stafford is going to be just an incredible boost to the Rams offense, and Kupp could just be peppered with targets. I mean, he could go over 100 receptions this season pretty easily. And in a full PPR league, the touchdowns are a little bit less important because Evans is much more likely to win the touchdown battle. And Evans definitely doesn't have the reception ceiling that Cooper Kupp does. So I'm going to take Kupp here. I feel good about him as our first receiver. Obviously, I don't have him ranked as a wide receiver 1, but I think he could finish as a wide receiver 1. And I feel good about where we were at with our team. It's okay to forego receiver a little bit. And especially drafting Kupp, I mean, we know for a fact that he's going to be very involved in the offense. He's not going to bust unless he gets injured. And so locking up these other positions, I think it's smart to go a little bit safer at this receiver pick. And it's still got a ton of upside. Like I said, I think the Rams offense is going to be insane this season. And Kupp's just going to be just peppered with targets. So after this, we're still looking at wide receiver. We feel very good about running backs and tight end here. If you wanted to go with running back here, at this point, it's Carson and Gaskin are definitely the main two, but definitely Mike Davis after that. There's still a chance that Kerryon Johnson got cut. He could go to one of them. Duke Johnson could be signed with one of them. They could grab one of Gurley and Bell. There's still options to where other running backs will be added, but there's no running backs we're scared of. Kerryon would definitely be annoying. Duke Johnson would be annoying to one of these two. But no one we're terrified of. So I think they're strong picks right now, and they become stronger every single month that they don't add another running back. If they go into the season with Gaskin and Mike Davis are clearly the top 2, they need to be moved up into probably the 4th round. But right now, I guess there's technically that risk that they don't start the season as starters and you're drafting them in the 5th round as a backup, and then that's a really bad position to be in. So definitely those. But I think we might be able to get one of them at our next pick. And I do still want, Kupp's good, but I still want to supplement him with someone. I don't want to take Odell. I had my speech on Chark recently where, I like Chark, but I think the value of taking Laviska later, of taking Marvin Jones later is just better. New quarterback. We don't know what if Laviska ends up being better than Chark, or just Trevor Lawrence prefers to throw to Laviska or prefers Marvin Jones, because it's sure, Marvin Jones is changing teams, but everyone's getting a new quarterback, so everyone's on a similar playing field. So I'm not probably going to draft him. Robbie Anderson, going a little bit too early for my liking here. Deebo Samuel, if you watched last week or last, I guess, Friday's video, I am avoiding Deebo just because I think that Ayuk is going to be used more than him. And if you've got Kittle, Ayuk in the ground game ahead of Deebo Samuel, that doesn't leave a ton of volume for him. We especially like volume in this format. But it's Courtland Sutton here, or Jamar Chase. I would say it's one of those two picks. Again, I have Chase a little bit too low, so I do have Sutton here. But I think that's like a coin flip. I think that's kind of where they should be going. Sutton and Chase should be going in pretty similar spots. So we'll take Sutton. We will hope that one of the running backs is still available at our next pick. I don't know that one will be. We could have gone with quarterback at that pick. But again, with quarterback, I'm still... Dak goes right before us. I'm still like hoping to get a value. Like I think in the 6th round, if 3 or 4 picks didn't go quarterback before us, then we're like, yes, we got a great value. I don't think you ever need to be reaching. There's so many different points in the draft we can take a quarterback that I want it to be like awesome, this guy fell to me at this pick, not I guess I should take quarterback here. Because there's still some great options. We don't care about their suggestions. So again, this is our team. Jonathan Taylor, Nadja Harris, Cooper Kupp, Courtland Sutton, and Travis Kelce. So we'll put that away. And after our pick, we see Jacobs, Carson, Gaskin, and Chase Edmonds go. Goddard and Mark Andrews go at tight end, and then only Robbie Anderson at wide receiver, with Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, and Dak Prescott at quarterback. So still, obviously, not going tight end. Running back, our only options here are Kareem Hunt and Mike Davis, and Travis Etienne. I'm of the belief that you don't trade up to take a running back early if you're going to use them in the 3rd down role. So that report that he's going to use a 3rd down back is ridiculous to me. I think there's a chance he gets featured, and if he gets featured in this offense, he could be fantastic. But there's obviously risk with going with Etienne because James Robinson's still like a really good running back. It's just that, I don't know, it seems like they're just not committed to him with that pick. That's just my take on that. So we can go with, I guess it would be Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase would be next up. So do we go, I'll pull up the team one more time. Do we go with 3rd running back or 3rd receiver with this pick? Going with Chase means that we're foregoing running back, and we're foregoing running backs that right now look like they're going to be pretty good. And there are still some really nice options at wide receiver. So I don't think it would be smart to miss out on Mike Davis here. I think we take Mike Davis. Again, there's that risk that he is just not going to be the guy, but then we don't do this, right? Like we're drafting in May. If it ends up that he isn't the guy, well, then maybe we take Kareem Hunt there, or maybe we take Jamar Chase there. But I mean, so far, he's the clear top running back, and they've talked about how when they played him last season, they liked a lot of things he did. They like what they can do for him. And there's not that many guys that they can add that are going to really scare us. And so if he's the top running back, he's probably going to be like a pretty easy running back too. It's a really good value to get in the 6th round. So we'll take him there. We could go with Etienne and just lock up the rest of our running backs, but I think it would be smart. I mean, we're at the point where you take one of the best wide receiver prospects that we have seen. I've heard people say best prospect since Calvin Johnson. That feels aggressive. I mean, Julio was a fantastic prospect. We've had other guys that were very, very good. But man, he's going to be incredible. It's a great situation to land in. I know some people are concerned, he landed on a team that already has some great receivers. No, it's a great situation to land in. You're getting a guy that you've already played with in college on this just incredible season. He was the last quarterback that you played with. There's just, if you look at that offense, he's going to be the top receiver because he's still better than Higgins. We love Higgins, but he's better than him. And it's an offense that they very clearly want to just chuck the ball around, right? It's going to be a high volume offense. I think Burrow is an incredible talent. They're going to throw the ball a ton with this great quarterback, with this great weapon. he's going to be phenomenal this season. I don't want anyone to be scared that they have Boyd, they have Higgins. That just means they're going to throw the ball literally every play. So definitely a great guy to have on your bench. So Kupp, Sutton, and Chase at receiver, Taylor, Harris, and Mike Davis at running back, Kelsey at tight end. We can still build evenly. We can definitely look at quarterback, but I think some got drafted here. So yeah, after after our Mike Davis pick, we didn't look at the board. Rodgers, Herbert, and Wilson go. Then after our Chase pick, Hurts goes. So we have seen 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I did that right, but I feel like I missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9 quarterbacks have gone in the first 7 rounds. But that also means there's only 2 other teams that haven't taken a quarterback. And so we're probably going to see a lull at some point. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Okay, cheat. There we go. So let's count out quarterbacks, though. We want Stafford. We desperately want Stafford. If we don't get Stafford, Burrow. Absolutely fine with us. We'll take Burrow. If we don't get Stafford, we don't get Burrow. Brady would be fine. Definitely a great offense there. If we don't get any of those 3, maybe both the other teams take a quarterback and then someone else takes a backup for some reason, we have options. And so this is why I want to just wait. I'm cool going Lawrence. I'm cool with Fields if he starts. Like if he's announced a starting quarterback with Chicago, I'm fully on board waiting until the end of the draft and taking him. So that's an option. I wouldn't love anyone else really. Honestly, Fitzpatrick, if you wanted to wait till the very last round, Fitzpatrick is named the starting quarterback, which I mean he's going to be. And you understand that it's possible that he doesn't finish the season as a quarterback. Like I think he will, but it's definitely possible he doesn't. You understand that fact, and you can just figure it out. In week 8, if it ends up changing, like he'd be fine. So because we're okay with all these options, we don't need to be the first one to take Tom Brady, right? We can wait. Oh, Stafford's gone. Okay, wait, see if we can get a value on Burrow. He's gone. Okay, we take Lawrence. He's gone. Like you just keep waiting because there are definitely options. So I just think this is a bit aggressive taking like all of these guys in the first 7 rounds because I expect a lull. These guys are unlikely to take backups, but we'll see what happens. So we've built evenly, like I've said, so we don't need to favor running back or receiver. We can just take whichever one we think is best available. Jarvis Landry is kind of standing out here. Again, at receiver, Kupp, Sutton, and Chase, I mean, we feel good about those guys, so we would probably lean on just taking a chance here. But also Jarvis Landry's, I don't know, he's probably going to be fine. Here's the thing with Jarvis Landry. Like, he's always fine, but like, look at this production even last season. These are his wide receiver finishes. It's like not that great. And so what are the odds we end up starting Jarvis Landry in this team in a week? Pretty low. I mean, I guess it'll be fine if it's like, oh, we need an option, it's week 5. He gets us 4 for 88, 13 points. Like, thanks, Jarvis. But I feel like in this range, I'd still rather take someone who could finish as a 1. And it's like Jarvis Landry isn't finishing as a wide receiver 1. So maybe a no on that. I don't think we need to go with a running back. It would probably be between Harris, Moss, and Javonte Williams, but I don't think we need to take them. So let's take a wide receiver here. And honestly, I think I've talked myself out of Jarvis Landry. We're not going to take Jerry Jeudy because we already have Courtland Sutton. Don't want to take 2 Broncos. But then, I mean, if you took Jerry Jeudy and then Rodgers goes to Denver, oh my goodness. I mean, you have started off your league very nicely because both of those guys' stock would just skyrocket. Parker's an option. Not in love with it. I think Waddle and Fuller going there kind of hurts his upside. Corey Davis is an option, but it's the Jets. They'll find out a way to just screw everything up. Don't want Marquise Brown with, Bateman. With Bateman going there. So LaVisca, our guy, we really like him. Antonio Brown re-signing, I mean, that's certainly an option. That's certainly one that has a lot of upside. What if we did LaVisca here and then hope that AB's there at the next pick And then we're like kind of set on receiver. We'll probably take a rookie late, or maybe one of the like Gabriel Davis or the Mooney picks that we really like. But what if we did LaVisca, then AB, then went back to running back, hope that someone is there, and then quarterback? Why don't we try that? That'll be our plan. We'll see if it works out for us. Okay. Good start so far. So we grab LaVisca. AB is still there. We need to be careful at running back because I would still prefer one of Moss, Williams, probably Sermon. Is getting AB worth it? Probably not. It is probably worth taking Moss here, securing the running back, foregoing Antonio Brown. Wow, the running backs really didn't get taken all that much. That's interesting. How many running backs got taken after our pick? 2. So Sermon does go, and then Tariq Cohen goes. Those are both fine. But AB, Mims, that's too early for Mims. Mike Davis, Marvin Jones, Hilton, Beasley, Shepard. Okay, not awful picks, but not that I would make. Still got all of our quarterbacks on the board, so we're still waiting. Mooney, our boy, is still there. But I like a bunch of these guys. I mean, Mooney. I've come around to Mecole Hardman because they didn't do anything in the draft. I thought they were going to take like a receiver, at least from my memory. Maybe I'm missing something. But I don't think they took a receiver, or at least a receiver early. I think right now on depth charts, Hardman is like starting. So a starting receiver for Patrick Mahomes. Now maybe they do something. I don't know, but a lot of upside there. A lot of upside left. Mooney, Waddle, Hardman, Aguilar, Perriman, that's gross. Gabriel Davis, Bateman, Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore a little bit if we can confirm that he's starting. Terence Marshall was the reason that I was kind of on Robbie Anderson because there are a lot of people who think Marshall could be really good. Maybe not this season, but like he could be really good, and that's just gonna like take targets away from Robbie. But hey, Robbie was really good last season, so like Curtis Samuel's gone, so that's definitely an option for us. Taking Terence Marshall, that was late, but I think we go with Mooney. I just think Fields going there really helps this offense. It helps the deep ball potentially because like they just didn't have anyone that was willing to chuck the ball deep. Like Foles and oh goodness, he's so bad that I can't remember his name. Trubisky, they just weren't it, right? Like they weren't that great. So we'll go with Mooney. We're not even confident that Fields is going to start. If it kind of comes out that Fields is like, oh, we're kind of, there's like multiple things that can happen here. It could definitely be a situation where they're like, oh, Fields, we're going to like wait on him. You know, we're going to wait till like next year, wait till later in the season. If we kind of hear that, it's like, okay, like if you guys start the season slow, he's coming in like week 2 or 3. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. But there's definitely a situation where they don't start slow. Maybe they have an okay start to the season and he wasn't the starting quarterback and it does take him a little bit and that would still like hurt our like Mooney shares. But I still think most likely scenarios he's the starter in week 1, that he plays well and it helps Mooney, him being the quarterback. I forget how even we are right now, but I think we have one more receiver. So we've got Kupp, Sutton, Chase, LaVisca, and Mooney. So that's 5. And then we've got Taylor, Nadja Harris, Mike Davis, and Zach Moss, 4 running backs. We should probably take another running back, but I don't really see one that's necessary. Jamal Williams, definitely an option. You know he's going to steal some work. He just always does. Gus, that's just not great. You could take Michael Carter. I'm not in love with him because I think he's going to get hyped up into like the 8th or the 9th round. But we're in the 11th round right now, so definitely an option there. He's a really good pass-catching back. They have absolutely no talent on that depth chart. Maybe things get turned around with the new quarterback, bringing in Elijah Moore, bringing in Corey Davis. Like they've brought in a lot of talent, and so maybe the Jets are okay, and that would help Michael Carter. He's probably the top option at running back, for being honest, right now. Salvin Ahmed would be fine. But I don't see anyone else. So let's take Carter. We're going to risk it another time with quarterback. I don't think our wide receiver went, so we're going to take Carter. We're going to take Hardman. Then we're going to take... Oh, there it goes. We got greedy. We got greedy with the quarterback. I was going to wait one more, but it looks like now the computer just took all their backups. I was going to wait one more and take probably Burrow or Stafford, but of course Burrow and Stafford both go at the next pick. But this was a good example, I think. What happens when you just grab all of the skill players that you want, load up your skill players, hold on, and then you go to quarterback. So 15 quarterbacks off the board. Honestly, you take Trevor Lawrence at this pick. And you're fine with that. I'm totally fine taking Trevor Lawrence here. He's going to be good. Think about the weapons. He's got Etienne. He's got James Robinson. So they're set at running backs. They got good running backs. Chark is a very good wide receiver. Laviska is a very good wide receiver. We've got that nice little stack with Laviska and Trevor Lawrence here. And then Marvin Jones as your 3. I mean, he's a really, really good deep threat. He's always an underrated talent. So Trevor Lawrence has plenty of talent around him. He's not like a super mobile quarterback, but he will take off and run, so he will get you some points with his legs. He will probably run in a few touchdowns. I don't know. I mean, I'm perfectly comfortable with Lawrence as my quarterback if I can get him in the 13th round, especially because, I'm set at all of these other skill positions. So we will take our defense here. We'll just take Washington because, why not? Good defense. And then we will look at our team. Again, don't care about the draft grade. Mainly because they probably think our worst picks here were... They definitely think the Jamar Chase pick was bad. It was actually an incredible value. They definitely think I reached a little bit with Nadja Harris, but I bet you he starts going in the early 2nd round. We got him in the 3rd round. They definitely think we reached on Trevor Lawrence, but I think he will start going earlier in drafts. They probably dinged us on Michael Carter, but I think he's going to go about 3 rounds earlier than we got him. I think Mecole Hardman will go a few rounds earlier. So we got a ton of really nice values here. So don't check the grade. It's consensus on 25 experts, 15 of which haven't adjusted their rankings since after the draft, I bet. So here we go. Trevor Lawrence, Jonathan Taylor, Nadja Harris, Cooper Kupp, Courtland Sutton, Kelsey, Mike Davis, Washington defense, and then Jamar Chase, Laviska, Zach Moss, Mooney, Carter, and Mecole Hardman. That, I think, is a very complete team. If you want to say, and I want to do this basically at the end of every single draft that we do, how do we get this to a championship team? Well, we need to figure out Lawrence. In the first 3-4 weeks of the season, we got to figure out if he is going to be the quarterback we want starting. Maybe they go more run heavy. Maybe they're more conservative with him. Maybe he doesn't break out like we think. And we need to evaluate that in the first month and just figure out, is he our quarterback winning the championship? If not, we need to figure out what we need to do. That very likely means we need to make a trade. Tough sometimes trading for quarterbacks, but you target a team that needs a running back, and maybe Moss and Carter are doing great, and we can package them with another receiver, or with Lawrence, they get a downgraded quarterback and upgrade at the running back spot. So that's one thing. We need to figure that out early in the season. Running back, we're fine with, assuming Mike Davis is still the starter. I think it's very unlikely that we need upgrades with Taylor, Harris, Mike Davis, Moss, Carter. I think we're good there. Wide receiver, we would probably need a 1. I think Sutton can be a 1, Kupp can be a 1, Chase can be a 1, but it's all can be. I don't think it's necessarily will be. So we need to, of course, evaluate that, and maybe we need to package. Maybe we need to take our boy Laviska, who might start the season hot, package him with Cooper Kupp to try and get, a top 7 wide receiver. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying these are the things we need to think about. But I think those would be our 2 things: is figure out Trevor Lawrence and then upgrade to a 1, because we've already got the best tight end. We've already got a great ground game. We're probably cool with Washington or just rotating. We don't really care about that. But I think that is what we would need to do to make this into a championship team. And I don't really remember all of the decision points, but I think, was it Nadja Harris? Whatever it was, let me know your answer to it in the comments section below. I definitely said one of them. I want to say it was the Nadja Harris pick. We were going to go with Terry. That's what it was. I think that's what it was. Would you have gone with Terry McLaurin or Nadja Harris with that pick? Again, I think the answer was grab Nadja Harris. Great pick in the 3rd round. You're still going to get some really nice receivers. But let me know what you guys would do in the comment section below. But that, my friends, is the end of this one. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, then how about hitting that like button? And how about subscribing to the channel if you're new? Thanks for watching.